What's up guys, it's me Deshaun. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the post notifications, and today we're talking about the power system in Chainsawman. In hindsight, it seems very simplistic at first, but there are many layers that we're going to unravel when it comes to this power system, and hopefully by the end of this video you'll have a newfound appreciation for it. Now to start everything off, let's start with the basics of the power system, or more or less the overall foundation of it. Names in Chainsawman are everything. How much fear surrounds your name ultimately determines how strong you are as a devil. The more fear that surrounds you and your name determines your overall strength. And your name could virtually be any concept, literally anything, any idea. It doesn't matter whether it's a person, place, or thing. It could even be an event. A devil basically exists for any concept. If you can think it, there's a devil for it. But again, unfortunately, if there's no fear that surrounds that idea, that devil would most likely be extremely weak. For example, the marshmallow devil. There's nothing really threatening about a marshmallow unless maybe, I guess, the possibility of a marshmallow causing a choking hazard, but outside of that, this devil would be extremely weak. And that's rather interesting in comparison to the tomato devil, despite both the marshmallow and the tomato both being foods. And you know, it's kind of like, how could you be scared of a tomato or a marshmallow? You know, it's kind of weird to be scared of a tomato or marshmallow. But despite that, the tomato devil is significantly stronger than the marshmallow devil. And it really brings up an interesting topic of conversation, because it's like, what makes a tomato scarier than a marshmallow? Is it the fact that you could be on stage and people could barrage you with tomatoes and, you know, maybe you feel humiliated? Is it because people are scared of the horror movie Attack of the Killer Tomatoes? Or could it be because ketchup is made out of tomatoes and ketchup looks like blood? And then I guess you could say that has the potential to be scary. And these could all be creative reasons as to why a tomato devil would have so much strength in the world of Chainsawman. And this is just one layer of this power system, talking about the potential of what has more fear between any two concepts you want to pin up against each other. To be quite honest, I've never seen simplicity used in a power system, and its overall execution is being taken to its full creative potential. I hope you guys are ready, because we got a lot to talk about. Now, to go back to the discussion of concepts, anything has the potential to be a devil. But what if I told you these concepts can feed and affect each other in all one big domino or butterfly effect? You see, to explain this in its simplest terms, we have a very generalized devil, the war devil. Now, if we think of all the things that are within war, such as death, guns, nuclear weapons, just to name a few. Then we think of actual wars, such as the First World War or the Second World War. All of these concepts play a role in just how much fear surrounds the concept or name of war. And we know this because due to Denji eating the World War II devil, he's the reason why there hasn't been a single war since the World War. Because he erased the concept of World War II, and this actually weakened the war devil. Because war became a thing of movies and video games, and as the world forgot war's terrors, it grew even weaker. Without the concept of World War II, without that event taking place, because Chainsawman consumed it, it significantly weakened the war devil as a whole. It seems as though it's a giant butterfly effect. And this would also be the reason as to why the war devil, when she first awakens, says that she's going to make Chainsawman cough up the nuclear weapons devil. Because the fear of nuclear weapons would also give the fear of war more strength. Another good example of this would be the tomato devil and the blood devil. Because people fear blood so much, this would indirectly feed the tomato devil, because a squashed tomato would actually have a resemblance to blood. And that resemblance to blood would be why people would fear tomatoes. Now, this would give you a general idea on how these demons in the power system would actually operate, but how exactly do they play their part in terms of this power system? You see, the way demons are utilized in Chainsawman varies. So we already know when it comes to a demon, they are obviously a certain concept. So naturally, the powers that they'd have would fit within that concept. But this same concept could be used in multiple different ways. There's not exactly a specific term that identifies the multiple ways these demons could appear, but the term I'd like to use would be manifestation. In Chainsaw Man's power system, we have a concept with a demon, and then that same demon can manifest differently, and that would overall change the way in which the demon's powers are used. As of right now, it seems as though there are only 4 different types of manifestations. The first one being the demon's full form, the second one being a hybrid, the third a fiend, and fourth, summoning some of the demon's powers through a contract. And again, depending on how they're manifested, drastically changes how they are used in combat. And again, this is where I have to give the power system even more praise, because no matter what theme, concept, or whatever devil Fujimoto might come up with, we get 4 different styles and how this one concept could be possibly handled. What would the full form of this demon look like? What would a hybrid of this demon look like? What would it look like if a demon possessed a human? And what would it look like if someone were to simply use this demon's ability or summon this demon on a lower scale through a contract? The potential for design in one demon by itself is interesting enough to make you wonder what every single manifestation for that demon would look like. Praise aside though, there is a staggering difference in strength when it comes to these manifestations, as I mentioned in another video, but it seems as though some people in the comment section seem to disagree with my opinions on how I'd rank these manifestations. For example, a lot of people think that hybrids are the strongest out of all these manifestations, but I kind of feel like it could be overruled with one simple example. The full manifestation of the Gun Devil is obviously going to be stronger than any hybrid, fiend, or contract, because a full manifestation wouldn't be limited to the human body like a fiend or hybrid. After all, a demon could literally take almost any form it wants, even the form of a human. So that's just some food for thought. I don't think a Gun Devil hybrid is beating the actual Gun Devil, because there would be no limit to the Gun Devil's power since it would be fully manifested. But anyways, let's cover these manifestations in more detail, and let's start off with contract. Now, a contract with the devil is basically summoning that devil on a lower scale. When you make a contract with a devil, you ultimately end up sacrificing something, whether it be skin, your eyeball, hair, nails, or actual years of your life. But what you get out of these contracts can actually vary. It seems as though the more practical contract would be to simply summon a part of the devil to help you. We see this multiple times with the manifestation of the Fox Devil. We usually see its head get summoned and it usually bites something. Or at times, its hands might manifest and it might attack something. It's almost as if these devils are like JoJo stands. Or a devil bringer, or I guess you could say more or less in this case, a wicked weave. You basically summon a devil and it attacks during that time and briefly disappears depending on how much you give it for its contract. Another way that devil hunters utilize contracts is through their weapons. There's not an official term for this, so I guess you could either call them demon weapons or contract weapons. You know, pick your poison, which one do you prefer? But basically another form of contracts are weapon contracts. We get a perfect example of this with Aki's contract with the Cursed Devil. Aki sacrificed years of his life to get this special katana from the Cursed Devil, and whenever he uses it, he stabs somebody with the giant nail that his katana is made out of, and after he stabs them, they get insta-killed by his curse attack. Well, unless his attack is used against somebody who is immortal or semi-immortal. Unfortunately, we only see 2 occurrences of this in the manga, with Aki and his katana, and Akane Sawatari making a contract with the Gun Devil and distributing guns to the Yakuza. Now, if we were to dive into hypotheticals, if you were to have a contract with the Angel Devil, you would more or less be able to use the Angel Devil's weapons as well. If you had a contract with the Gun Devil, you'd obviously be able to make guns or use them. If you were to have a contract with the Chainsaw Devil, 9 times out of 10, I guarantee you could make a chainsaw out of thin air. If you had a contract with the War Devil, you'd most likely be able to turn people into weapons just like her regular ability. If you had a contract with the Blood Devil, you'd probably be able to make weapons out of blood just like Power. But yes, that is just some food for thought because it is definitely possible. Like, I can't stress this enough, do not sleep on this power system. It brings a lot into question, like, okay, if I had a katana and I made a contract with a Bat Devil, would I be able to use this epic looking bat sword where I could have a swarm of bats, you know, behind every swing tearing shit to shreds? And not only that, when I swing the sword, I get a echolocation blast just like what the Bat Devil used against Denji. simply because I have a contract with the Bat Devil. Anything that fits under the theme of a bat could be used as a simple contract where I summon a part of the Bat Devil, use them into a sword, become a Bat Fiend or Bat Hybrid, and so on and so forth. But remember, this is all hypothetically speaking. And then it's insane, because these contracts and these hypotheticals can get even more crazy. Now, there is a scene in the manga when Makima actually combines a bunch of devils to attack, but for some reason a lot of people just think this is her simply summoning the Punishment Devil, but that is incorrect. This is actually a combination of a bunch of different devils attacking the Gun Devil, and you can mainly see this because if you look at the devil that Makima used against the Gun Devil, you can see that it is actually part of the Snake Devil. And you know, it says that she's actually using all of these abilities at once in the manga. It is unknown whether or not combining contracts is a Makima exclusive ability, but I doubt it because Makima didn't use these abilities by herself. She simply took all of these Devil Hunters' current contracts and made them activate all these contracts at one time, combining them all. You know, unless I'm missing something, it says Makima activates abilities, use of the following abilities, and it proceeds to name the Devil Hunters and their contracts. It doesn't say anything about Makima using her ability of combining or anything like that. She's just simply using all of these contracts at one time. At least to me, it seems as though you could combine contracts. But hey, if you disagree, I don't know what to tell you, man. It's right there. If you have enough offerings, it seems as though combining contracts might actually be a possibility. So let's think of this. If I have a contract with the Chainsaw Devil and the Gun Devil, let's say I want to make a weapon. I could literally get the Lancer from Gears of War. And then this begs the question, what does a combined hybrid or fiend look like? If you can combine contracts, what more can you do? You literally see full manifestations of devils combined into one giant brand new devil one-shotting the Gun Devil. It's absolutely insane. The possibilities of this power system are so slept on. Whether it be the narrative and how the power system affects the overall narrative, with Denji getting weaker due to the public no longer fearing him, or the type of contracts and character deaths that may occur because of them. And then we have all of these insane options offering almost endless creativity. If I had to describe this system, I would literally say simple but more than effective. And keep in mind, this is just contracts. We haven't even went over hybrids, fiends, or full devil manifestations. But before we move on, I'd like to point out the possibility of combining the Darkness Devil, the Gun Devil, or maybe even the Hell Devil. I really couldn't imagine just how dope of a design we'd get out of a combination between those three devils, or just how broken it might actually be. Now, outside of contracts, we have three other forms of manifestation that I'm going to be briefly covering because I actually cover all of these forms very in depth, like in another video. So the next one up we have are fiends. A fiend is what happens when a devil takes over a human's body or corpse. Typically, you'd get the devil's personality more than the human's personality, depending on whether or not they've gotten full control over the body or if they've decided to leave some of their host's brain intact. We've seen this on two occasions, with the first occasion being the Violence Devil. Despite being a fiend, he has a lot of his human brain left intact. And the second occasion would be in Chainsawman Part 2, where Yoru allows half of Asa's brain to be intact as well. When it comes to fiends, it seems as though they're able to use the power of the demon that's controlling them to a lower extent than a hybrid. Something that really pointed out to me is the fact that it seems as though the ability to shapeshift like a regular demon is the thing that's mainly missing, because we see hybrids take full advantage of shapeshifting, applying themselves and taking full advantage of their human bodies. But it seems as though fiends cannot do that unless there is a special occasion, like with the Shark Fiend, where he can take his devil form for a short period of time. As for hybrids, it really does seem like they get the best of both worlds, being able to take full advantage of their human bodies and their devil powers. just not to the same degree as your regular devil form, because obviously it seems as though that a regular devil's powers aren't really bound to anything, considering they can take any form they want, offer contracts, and so on and so forth. Now that we've got these manifestations out the way, let's talk about some passive abilities that these demons might actually have, or basically abilities that almost every demon possesses. Now, blood is a very important thing in terms of Chainsawman. The amount of blood you have in a fight can make or break you, because blood also allows you to regenerate. If you consume a lot of blood, you could actually get more access to your devil powers. We see this happen with Power because she consumes so much blood, her horns actually get bigger and she gets significantly stronger. And those aren't the other limits of consumption. The more devils you eat, and if you eat stronger devils, you're going to get stronger yourself. And this would actually explain why Chainsawman is so strong, because he's consumed so many devils. It's pretty crazy, because when you think about it, if the Eternity Devil would have actually consumed Denji and ate his heart, he probably would have been broken as fuck. And the series would have ended right there. But anyways, yes, consuming other devils makes you stronger, and we see this on more than one occasion when other devils actually consume parts of the gun devil. And consuming devils isn't only limited to other devils. If a human were to consume part of a devil, they can actually become a devil as well. We see this with Santa Claus when she consumes a part of the Darkness Devil and becomes some weird mixture of the Darkness and Doll Devil. Another example of combining contracts, using the powers of both the Doll Devil and Darkness Devil to take this brand new form. So yes, blood is actually a very big deal in this power system. Now I have all these different concepts and the different ways that they could be utilized through manifestation, and then we get an idea on just how blood affects these same devils and concepts and can ultimately change the way a fight may play out. For example, what if the Marshmallow Devil were to eat a part of the Gun Devil? He'd probably be able to beat devils that he shouldn't be able to naturally win a fight against. So we have all these insane possibilities, and on top of that, we've got counters for specific concepts. Obviously, if a Fire Devil were to fight a Water Devil, the Water Devil would win. If a Wolf Devil were to fight a Pig Devil, the Wolf Devil would naturally win. But concept counters don't only vary to this. For example, with the Ghost Devil, it is said that the Ghost Devil has no eyes, but what it sees is fear. If you are not afraid, then you could beat the Ghost Devil because it would not be able to detect you and ultimately harm you. This would most likely be because of most legends and superstitions that revolve around yokai or ghosts. If you do not fear the ghost and you do not give it any power over you, it most likely cannot affect you or do anything to you. And this would be a counter to the concept of ghosts, and it seems as though other concepts would most likely have counters to them. I don't think I have to explain this too much, but yes, a concept most likely might have a counter to it, whether it be a legend, natural counter, or so on and so forth. And then on top of all of this, we have over-the-top JoJo-esque abilities that only Fujimoto could think of making. Chainsawman eating things and erasing them from existence. The War Devil turning anything that she owns into a weapon, but if she has a strong enough bond with that thing, it'll ultimately make the weapon stronger. It's so wacky, she turns a pencil into a spear and her school uniform into a sword. And the wackiness does not end here. Let's just look at the Gun Devil's abilities. The ability to fire a bullet through the head of every adult male within approximately 1,000 meters of the Gun Devil. The ability to fire a bullet through the head of every child ages 0 through 12 within approximately 1,500 meters of the Gun Devil. You're not getting any wacky abilities from another series outside of this. Gun Devil ability activation, the ability to fire a bullet through the heart of every living being born in the months of January, February, March, May, June, August, September, November, or December within approximately 1 kilometer confirmed. Your birth month could be the reason why you get fucking laid out. I'm gonna be real with you, I don't like to overhype things, and I don't normally praise things to such a degree, but if I'm being absolutely honest with you, I really think that this power system might just be a masterpiece. There's so much going on here, and that's not including the stylistic choices that Fujimoto brings to the table when displaying a use of these said powers. For example, this scene with all the main characters getting sent to hell. We see this hand getting ready to grab the hospital building, and in the next panel we see the hand grabbing them, yet ants are eating through it. For another example, let's use a scene that a majority of the Chainsaw Man fanbase loves, the appearance of the Darkness Devil. No words are said, but the bizarreness of this art says more than anything when you see this scene for the first time. Believe it or not, even after everything that we've talked about, there's still more to cover. But I feel like there would be a better time and place for that. I just hope that those of you who have reached this point in the video have came out with a newfound respect for Chainsaw Man. If you like this video, please leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in my next Chainsaw Man video. Y'all take it easy.